So today I'm going to be talking about past jobs that I've had. I worked at the New Bedford Jewish Convalescent Home. I was there for 12 years. It is a Jewish facility. Not all our residents are Jewish, but they had to follow the Jewish traditions on coming into our facility to live. I worked in the kitchen, so I worked days. So we had a cook, we had a 6 to 2, and our numbers were 1, 2, and 3. So the cook would prep the meal for morning and lunch. The 6 to 2 would follow a list on what had to be prepped. Also do the cook's pots and pans, things like that. They also did the desserts for lunch. Number one, you would do the milks in the morning. We did have nourishments. We had 10 o'clock and 2 o'clock nourishments that we had to follow a list, and each resident's name would be on the list and what they got as to per their diet. Number two would focus mainly on pouring the drinks for morning and the afternoon. So we also would follow a diet card to make sure that they're getting the right drinks. If they were a nectar or a honey, and it wasn't pre-made, obviously we would make that, depending on if they were a nectar or a honey. Number three, basically did setting up the dining room. We had a list that we followed for assorted cereals, like cold cereals. Sometimes the residents got prunes, applesauce, apricots, fresh fruit, oranges. So they would set up that cart as well. We did have a line, so number three would be the one to set up the trays and follow the card correctly. Number two would put the drinks on in the morning, and they would also see if they got Cheerios or cornflakes and assorted things like that, which number three had did for the cart. Number one would make sure everything on the trays were correct per their diet, and number one would call out to the cook if they were a whole, if they were a ground, if they were a puree, and the cook would know what to give them as a meal. We did do trainings. Sometimes new employees come in and they want to work for us, so depending on the job, they would be assigned to us and we would train them. My favorite things about the job were the residents. I mean, you're coming into their home. Yes, you're providing for them. Yes, you work there, but yet this is their home. They're not living anywhere else. They're living here, so we need to respect it like it's their house, which it is. And my favorite thing was you get attached to these residents, and you want to make sure that everything is being well taken care of and making sure that they're getting the right things that they're supposed to, being in the kitchen. As far as CNAs and nurses, they do the same thing. They make sure that their beds are clean, that, they're dressed, they're showered, nurses, medication, stuff like that. I didn't really have any least favorite things about the job. I do miss it, but sale is more of what I wanted to do with my life, and I'm finally really happy with it. So I can't wait to see what the future holds for me. But I do miss my residents every day. I do talk to a few people I used to work with, so that's good. And I do keep in touch. So that was my previous job at the New Bedford Jewish Convalescent Home. I hope you liked this video, and thank you.